Hey viewers, Chris from Chris Country back with you. In this video, I've got a 1997 Ford F150 pickup truck. It's the extended cab with the 4.2 V6 automatic transmission 2-wheel drive. I'm going to be showing you all a little bit about how to remove and clean the idle air control valve, which is kind of like a normal maintenance procedure. I forget the exact intervals at when you would want to do the service, but especially like if you just bought a truck or something like that, it's something that you want to tend to. The idle air control valve, in a brief summary, is responsible for controlling the airflow, which in effect affects your idle speed. The symptoms of a faulty, or in this case dirty, idle air control valve can be occasionally a hunting idle, low idle, high idle, that sort of thing. But keep in mind there are also a lot of other problems that can affect your idle, including vacuum leaks, problems with the PCM engine computer, and other several things. Even air in the cooling system will affect your idle. So, as I like to say, it's important to diagnose, but cleaning your idle air control valve doesn't hurt either. So with that, we'll go ahead and get over to showing you how to do the procedure. Hope you enjoy. For those of you that are curious, my truck's got 193,933 miles on her. You'll want to go ahead and disconnect your battery. The main reason for this is when you're cleaning and servicing your IAC, you're going to have to basically have the computer start off with no prior knowledge of the vehicle's idle, so it can actually re-keep itself its correct idle with the IAC serviced. And for those of you wondering, on this particular truck, I'm using an 8mm to undo this ground. You just want to make sure to get the ground away from anywhere that it's not going to contact or short out. Your idle air control valve, on the 4.2 anyway, is up here on top of the upper intake manifold. It has two 8mm bolts that you can undo. First thing you want to undo is go ahead and undo the clip. You just press in on the tab, it slips right off. Make sure that your socket doesn't come off. And I can already hear some of you screaming at me. There is a little gasket down here. Personally, I would recommend to replace it if you do pull the IAC, but unfortunately I'm broke today. And this gasket seems like it's holding up pretty good, so I will opt to not replace it for now. What you want to do is you want to take your DVOM and you want to put it in ohms mode. Unfortunately, my power probe does not really have such a mode, so I can't use it today. But I'm sure there will be videos where I can use it. For this test, you want to take your positive lead and put it on the signal wire, which in this case is up top, and your ground lead on the bottom. Now, you'll want to watch your scale, and if you see less than 7 ohms or greater than 13, then your IAC is bad. So, get these probes connected here. Give it a minute for it to stabilize. I'm seeing 10 ohms, which is good. To test for an internal short circuit, all you do is probe either one of the spades and touch the case, and if you see anything other than open loop, you've got an internal short. So electronics wise, this idle air control valve tested good, and I tested this one already and it tested good as well. This is your the internal part of the idle air control valve. You have an inlet and an outlet port. How this valve works is basically it's hooked up to the computer. The computer sends a command to adjust the spring to push the valve back and forth. That determines how much air is coming into the valve and how much air is actually going out of it. So you have, I believe, almost unrestricted airflow into the inlet, and the computer determines how much goes out of it and into the intake at idle. The problem with these valves, especially on the older engines, if you can't tell by my fingers, is that they tend to get quite a bit of carbon buildup, which can affect the operation and the efficiency of the spring. In fact, I'm feeling a little bit of carbon on the spring as I touch it. So what you want to do is holding the IAC like this up, because you don't want the cleaner fluid to get down and hurt the motor. You only use carb cleaner. Do not use brake cleaner on these valves, because there's an O-ring usually that sits somewhere in here, and if you use brake clean, it'll eat at the O-ring. So I'm going to have to hold it the other way so I don't splash the camera. But you just shake it up and you blast the throttle cleaner into the two ports. And I usually recommend a Q-tip, but I don't have a Q-tip today, so I'm just going to be using my shop towels to help clean it out. Just blast it in. Smells like acetone after a while. Then you take your shop towel and you just, in my case, just do the best I can to clean off the ports. You can almost see right away when it hasn't been cleaned in a while. What you want to do is just, you just spray clean, and then if you have a shop with compressed air, you can air out your ports, or just drain the excess fluid out and let the IC dry off a little bit before you reinstall it into the vehicle. This is kind of how you want it to look. No carbon buildup on the ports, and you can tell the spring and the push rod's actually pretty clean too. There to put just a little bit onto the actual intake, because there's usually quite a bit of carbon buildup here, and that's actually how it gets pushed up into the IAC. You can see some of it coming off just from me spraying it. You don't want carbon in your intake. Looks like somebody double gas gated that. Now we're going to go ahead and reinstall the IAC. Usually what I like to do is run my screw, drop them in first. Drop the one I'm going to start with first. Find the hole, just screw it in. Usually I like to run both bolts down finger tight, and then I'll tighten it up with the 8mm socket. You just want to make sure not to over tighten these. Reconnect your IAC. And we'll reconnect the battery. A tip I learned personally, especially if you're using a metal tool to retighten your battery, do not let the arm touch anything solid, because if you ground your tool to the battery, you're going to get some sparks and might hurt yourself in the process. Make sure you get it good and snug. Probably need a better battery hold down on this thing too. Time to go see how she fires up. Give it about 30 seconds to rest. I think it got too much tar cleaner in. Usually when you actually disconnect the idle air control valve between you and you disconnect the battery, the engine's going to have to relearn its idle. So you want to let your engine idle for anywhere from about 5 to 10 minutes. Sounds like she's idling better already. Go ahead and wrap this one up. Well, that was certainly entertaining. I hope you all enjoyed the video. From what I can tell, it looks like servicing the IAC valve helped a little bit with the my truck's idle. I don't believe it's all the way fixed. Actually, before I disconnected the battery and did the IAC servicing, it's been giving me a check engine light with code P1537, which gives it equates to an IMRC runner being stuck open. This pretty much affects the airflow into the engine. It's part of the lower intake manifold. Haven't really gotten around yet to troubleshooting that one. I believe it's probably either that it too needs cleaned, or it could be pointing to a possible vacuum leak. But I'll fix that in due time. Again, just to summarize it, the idle air control valve, it can be part of it can be one of the main causes to an idle problem, but also keep in mind things like a vacuum leak, airing your cooling system are also two fairly large culprits, and also possibly a computer problem could be a culprit to an idle issue. I'm Chris for Chris Country. You can always visit me at my Facebook page, Chris Country, or of course feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are having a wonderful day, night, week, weekend, whatever time it happens to be when you're watching this video. And we will see you on the next video. See you later.